Now, I want to speak to the marketers who are in perhaps the second half of their careers, um, who may have come up with that put your head down, work hard, don't complain, and you'll get ahead mentality. How do they shift their way of thinking? Because it's got to be a challenging pivot, but obviously digging your heels in is not the move.
Well, you're talking about me.
You're the one leading us into the light, Antonio.
Again, I believe that as leaders, regardless of generation, but especially if you're in the second half of your career, your 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 first role is to have empathy towards
Mm-hmm.
the world, towards the people around you, and you know what? And towards yourself. Because when tectonic shifts like the one that we're seeing with technology and geopolitics and all that, everybody gets nervous, everybody gets anxious, and the reason for that is dealing with the unknown. In my own journey of self reflection, that fear is because of ignorance of what the possibilities can be. And normally what happens is that the dark side takes over first and foremost, because we see the disruption at the beginning of the people losing jobs and all that. What we are not capable of seeing yet, as it was the case when I went through the digital transformation, we saw the job eliminations first. What we were not able to see was all the new jobs that were created through the digital platforms. We were not able to identify that a Google was going to be created, or a Meta was going to be created, or an Amazon, or that Microsoft was going to fundamentally reinvent its business model. We did not see the dramatic transformation that digital was going to bring into the banking and financial services industry. At the end, it created significantly bigger and better opportunities. We're not there yet because we're at the beginning of the shift, but I am convinced that that's what we're going to see all over again. So when that happens, you can either say, "Oh my God, all the past was always better, life was simpler," like, or you embrace the change and then you try to figure it out, and then you try to make the best of what you have available, without a doubt. And we have the numbers to prove it. And I peppered a couple of those people that were fear of AI, or Gen AI, to be very specific. The moment that they began to play, the moment that they began to see the benefits of it, they they became converts and they couldn't see life in a very different light,
Mm-hmm.
just like it has been the history of every single transformation through history, from the printing press on, if you will. So to me, the best advice that I have for people of my generation is to jump in, to learn, to bring younger people in and get reverse mentoring on all this, and allow the future to unfold. It's going to create all sorts of interesting questions where your experience will be actually important in guiding people through some of the non technological questions that the technological change will bring. Where is truth? How do we connect dots? What dots are important to be connected? How do we maximize the creativity of our team? Those are the issues of leaderships. They were then, they continue to be there now. We just need to create, to understand the platform so that we can elevate ourselves and do the work that we always wanted to do.
There is so much good stuff there to unpack. I would encourage our listeners to give that a second listen because, yeah, I think we tend to look at timelines as linear, as things happening in a one, two, three thing. And in the real world, that is just not how things happen. And to your point, historically, every major advance has come with a time of disruption and then a wave of new opportunities. So, really, really terrific stuff. Love the idea of reverse mentoring. I forget who it was, but we had a guest who said, have a no agenda 60-minute meeting with some of your youngest coworkers once a month and see if you don't just start to soak in a little more of that cultural and technological kind of vibe from them. So I think there's a heck of a lot of stuff. This is a time to get excited no matter what stage of your career that you're at. So, so well said, Antonio. I can't tell you how much I appreciate it.